Good morning. Welcome to Fridays on 42nd Street at the Des Moines Playhouse. I'm Katy Merriman, Artistic Director, and I'm sitting at my old desk. I used to work down here in this wonderful corner, and I kicked out Jada, and I noticed this giant pile of Matilda books is all that we have left of Matilda. So we loved it, and it's over, and we've moved on to Guys and Dolls, but we still have this big pile of things to send back. One of the behind-the-scenes things that happen after the show is over. But we have some exciting after the show is over things for Matilda to share with you as well. First, we're going to talk about who we have chosen as the winners of the Extraordinary Stories contest. If you're not familiar, part of what is so cool about Matilda the character is that she is a young person, and even though she's little, she can do a lot. So we were asking for stories of people in our community who are young and have done a lot to give back to the community already. We also got some fantastic stories of big challenges that young people have been facing and how brave and kind and wonderful they are. And all of the stories that we got were like very heartwarming, and I think very suddenly we were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to choose winners out of this? Like, all of these kids are amazing. But there were two stories that stood out to us specifically because they were young people who saw a need in our community and advocated for other people and did something although they are little, that could make a big change for other people. So those two people are Harper Grace Johnson, nominated by Calvin Johnson, and I'm actually just going to read a little bit of their stories because they were so well written and better than anything I'm going to say. So here's a little bit about Harper's story. Harper is a helper in all ways. 2 years ago, she learned about people in our community that are food insecure. It bothered her so deeply she began losing sleep. But what could a little girl do to help with such a big problem? That's when Harpers Harvest was born. Harper, with help from her dad and grandma, planned and built a massive garden. They make baskets full of free organic produce, and they give it to anyone who needs it in our community. So she takes personal requests from individuals and families. She also delivers baskets to local libraries, schools, and community centers. This is the second full season of Harpers Harvest, and they have added homemade bread to the offerings as well, made by her little sister Elliot. So Elliot's Eats gets a shout out as well, because those come in each of the Harpers Harvest baskets. So way to see a need and do something about it even though you're little. And just so happens that tomorrow's Harper's 8th birthday, so happy birthday, Harper. Good job. Okay, our second winner is Lily Harms, nominated by Troy Ellerbrook. Lily has been hard of hearing since birth, got her first hearing when she was 1 year old, and is a true advocate for those who are also hard of hearing, especially children. Just this spring, Lily went to the Iowa State Capitol to use her voice and encourage lawmakers to pass a bill that would require insurance coverage for hearing aids for children. So their family was told that hearing aids aren't always considered medically necessary, like for young people like her to hear teachers and coaches, and they very much are for many people. So she marched on down to the Iowa State Capitol and said something about it, which is really cool to see a young person who's already becoming involved in advocacy for people like herself and other young people who she saw a need for. Troy also said a bunch of wonderful things about how great she is in the classroom as well, and I have no doubt that that is also true. So congratulations to Harper and Lily. Also, thank you so much. We heard some really beautiful and amazing stories about Joe and Abby Solger, Natalia Kloppenberg, Jasmine Davis, Charlotte Benning, and Colt Cosper. So thank you so much for participating, and we were all just, I felt really lucky that we got to read all of those extraordinary stories. We will be in touch with you, so keep an eye out for a Playhouse call or email. Speaking of helping others in our community, I want to get this number right, too. You, patrons of Matilda, anyone who dropped a book off in our book drive, raised 1,080 books that were donated to the Des Moines Public Library. Those are going to be distributed for free to anyone who would like to have their own book to take home and read and keep forever. So Rosie's reading van pulled up yesterday at the library, and we loaded 1,000 books onto there. And when I say we, it was not me, so I deserve no credit. Thanks to whoever did that. They're probably all sitting behind the camera right now. And so that is all going to go out into the community as well. So what a great way to take a fun and beautiful show and turn it into something we can do for our community. Thank you all for participating in that. And now we're looking ahead to Guys and Dolls. We've got Harriet the Spy auditions coming up August 29th at the end of the month. We've had a few young people ask about if they can read that script ahead of time, and you can check one out from our box office if you want to come in and borrow it for a week so that you know the script ahead of time, and then you have to bring it back. That's a lot of stuff. That's all that's on my mind today and what we wanted to share with you. So we will be back again next week, and have a great weekend.